From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicky Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm going to be your host for this episode, and my name is Bill. Who else is hosting?
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Jen.
You are. We get so good at this. It's almost like we remember this stuff naturally. We have a guest. I know everybody who wanted us to get through with our Racing 101 series and our Dominating with Dawson series is missing guests. So we have some new guests. And it looks like we've got another guest coming in now.
Hi, Clay.
He doesn't hear you yet. But anyway, so we have a relatively new racing team. They have a name that is perhaps even longer than ours. It's the Semi Sentient Centenarians. And if you thought that was bad, wait till you get the last name on one of these guys. Anyway, we have a this is going to be tough. This could be the hardest one we've had so far. We're going with Andrew Schluckbeer.
Close. Yeah.
Close.
Schluck beer.
Schluck-beer.
I was better the first time.
Come on, Schluck beer.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah,
beer
you're
drinker.
better the first time.
I'm not a beer drinker person, you know. We have
Clay, you showed up.
we have our late arrival, Clay Campbell. Welcome.
Thank you. Had some Porsche problems.
Is there any other type?
There's
Yes.
tough problems.
We have lots of problems.
Good point.
We can break everything, so don't feel bad. And then we have Matthew Marshall.
Yes. Two real simple, easy names
I
after
know. I can do
Andrews.
that one. I know. And then we have somebody who's camera shy or microphone shy, whatever, but he may come later. Alex Goldhart is part of the team. So Ben Dawson said, "Hey, would you want to have these guys on?" And we said, "Sure."
Awesome.
And so we're blaming Ben for this one. Ben, what's you, buddy? So I did not do any introductions besides just your name. So if you could just give a brief introduction for everybody out there and let us know what you do. Maybe if you're working, if you're not working, family life, professional life, racing life, whatever. Let's start. Let's do Andrew's alphabetically first, so we're easy that way.
Okay. Yeah. What can I say about myself?
You were born very young.
I moved back to North Carolina a little over 5 years ago. I went to high school in Burlington, and then I went to Canada for a while. Was there for 8 years. Decided I was tired of getting cold, so I moved back here and started living in Charlotte at first, and then moved to Raleigh. And I think first I met Clay, and then Matthew, and eventually Alex. I think that's the correct order.
Cool. What about you, Clay?
Yeah.
I'm Clay Campbell. I was born and raised in North Carolina. I'm a bridge engineer by day and like to play with cars pretty much any other time.
What kind of bridges? All kinds?
Mostly concrete, short span structures.
Okay.
Yeah. I do a lot of contract work for the DOT in North Carolina and South Carolina. I knew Matthew in college, and one day I saw on his Instagram that he had a Buick race car and on his trailer. So I just messaged him after not speaking to him for many years and said, "Hey, do you need anybody to help man that race car?" And he said, "Sure, come look at it." And he said a couple of guys are going to be checking it out. So I came over and ended up, me and him and then we were looking for people, and I had bought some BMW parts from Andrew. I said, hey, I know this guy who's got a cool BMW, and I know he's done some track driving, and we called him, and that's how Andrew got into the mix.
So it sounds like we blame Matthew for this whole thing.
Matthew is our fearless leader for sure.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
All right, we'll shame you at the end of the podcast. Don't worry.
or all throughout is fine too. It's all right. I'm used to it.
we do tend to sprinkle throughout the podcast. So, what about you, Matthew?
I also am from North Carolina, from the coast. I've lived here in Raleigh. Oh my God, it's been a decade and a half now.
Just for those listening at home, Raleigh is not the coast of North Carolina. Just yeah.
So I have a job. I've never worked with cars or anything. I've always liked cars, had fun ones, etc. I'm the one who sort of kicked this whole thing off. I always thought that racing a car was like some super like out there like high goal, or something like past what I would ever be capable of. It was like that would be really cool, but never going to happen. And then one day in summer 2019, a friend of mine messaged me, hey, I'm going to be doing a lemons race at Carolina Motorsports Park with this guy that I talked to online with a Volvo, etc. And I was like, awesome. Like I was planning to go watch. They got to talking a little bit and decided they needed a fourth person. So my friend recommended me. And so I was like, hell yeah, I'm there. Just let me know the time. Let me know what I owe somebody money wise, and I'll make it happen. And after that, the race was great. Race 77 Volvo 240 that I now own for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but I didn't at the time. I was afraid that the guy that we raced with wasn't going to keep doing it. So I was like, how do I keep? I got to keep racing. How do I keep making it happen? And I started looking on. I joined the Facebook groups and the forum and all that stuff, and started looking at a thread came up of who's getting rid of their cars. At this point, it was winter. It was like November, December 2019 time. And I was looking at these cars. I was like, oh, that's cool. But that's like 12 hours away. I don't have a truck. I don't have a trailer. I don't have anywhere to get this. And it costs money. And this 96 Buick Century popped up for free 3 hours from where I live in Boone, North Carolina. Ooh. And the second I saw it, I was like, damn. I'm gonna own this car. Did. I called a friend.
What happens in Boone stays in Boone.
Yeah, I wish. No, I'm glad the car didn't stay in Boone. I'm glad it came back to me, back to Raleigh with me. But yeah, I called a friend, borrowed an SUV, called U-Haul, rented a trailer, and went to Boone and got a running, driving, free caged race car. Wow. And then like Clay said, I put it on Instagram. Clay saw it, messaged me. We got to working on it, decided we needed other people. So Clay recommended Andrew. Andrew came and started working on the car with us. And then race time came. We needed a fourth person. We called Alex. I promise Alex exists. We called Alex. Alex came.
No way. We're not buying it.
And then here we are on this podcast, rambling to you about how we did what we did.
So, Matthew, before that fateful Lemons race where you were the fourth driver, did you have any interest in racing, or how did you get the racing bug?
I didn't ever think it was something I was going to be able to do. I mean, I never really have loved working on cars. I just did it like out of necessity. I was like, oh, racing's expensive. I didn't ever think it was going to be an opportunity I'd have in my life. Mm-hmm. But unbeknownst to me, another good friend of mine from college was at least putting out some feelers, trying to see how to get into a lemons race or a champ car race or something like that. And he found somebody local who had got a car and wanted to put together a team. So I lucked into it, literally just kind of stumbled into it. He did the work. I just sort of showed up.
What about you, Clay? Did you have a lifelong interest in racing as a child, or how'd you get the racing?
Yeah, I think so. I used to joke with people that I felt like I was born to drive race cars, but I never knew how I would make the jump into it. I've always loved, go-kart racing and stuff like that. I grew up in a smaller town and more rural area, and we had dirt bikes and go-karts, and I always drove too fast. And so when I saw Matthew with that race car and talking about getting a team, I was like, this is my chance. So I jumped onto it. I'd actually messaged a few Lemons teams the year before, or maybe a couple months before Matthew got his car, asking if anybody would consider taking on a rookie driver. And they all advised finding a rookie team. And that just hadn't come together yet. And then I guess that's what ended up happening with Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What about you, Andrew?
So Matthew has low standards, apparently.
Extremely.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to Clay. Growing up, I mean, I always enjoyed
bike too
go-karts. And
Jumping ramps.
yeah, exactly. And my first car was an E30. I got that when I was, far too young, like 16. And I think that's what really started like the car hobby for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really thought I was going to, I didn't really have any aspirations for doing actual wheel-to-wheel racing in any way, but just had a general interest. And I've been doing some autocrosses and HPDEs before that. So, and I think you're right, Clay. I think it was like a couple months before all this, because I remember like you and me, we went go-karting once, and we were just looking for like an economical way to have fun driving something.
Yeah.
And I think we had like determined that even doing that league racing at the local go-kart place was kind of expensive. Doing it once a month. And I think we did like talk about, Lemons. And it was just like shortly after that this came through it with Matthew. And so the timing was just great.
So you mentioned HPDEs, that you've been driving some HPDEs. Have most of you guys been doing the HPDEs or any other kind of training?
I've done one with these two guys a couple months before we did our Lemons race.
And that was the same one, was the only one that I've ever done. So I actually did a Lemons race before I had done like a real track day.
Which is so crazy to me.
Oh, it is to me too. It was pulling out on track. It was like, oh, what have I done? What am I doing? Yeah, and I always recommend to people to do it the other way around. So, I mean, of course, now that I have a race car and people are like, oh, how do I do it? But I was like, do an autocross, do an HPDE, then see if you come back and talk to me about if you want to start racing. But I was like, do those things first in that order and see if it's for you. At least get some skills first. Some skills of some sort. I don't know what you really need to go out and race, but do something first.
So do you guys have aspirations for this at all? And I mean, how long have you guys been into it right now?
Our first race was this past September. We started working on the car, I believe, in February. And we've been signed up for pretty much every race on the East Coast since, but they all have obviously gotten canceled. So I guess we've been at it for over a year at this point.
Yeah.
You guys are fresh.
Yeah.
Do you love it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is exceedingly terrifying that I'm the experienced veteran member on the team. And like we were putting the car together, and I mean, those two had never, I had done a race, but like just one that I wasn't arrive and drive for. So it's like, they're kind of leaning on me like, well, what do we need to do for this and this and this? I'm like, I don't really know. I didn't pay attention to that when I was racing someone else's race car.
Oh my God. So how do your how does your team break down in a sense? Like, what are your responsibilities? Who's the mechanic, basically?
Those
What?
I always say Andrew and Clay.
Uh-huh.
They're a lot more go-getter at working on the car. I'll do it. I just am not. I'm not as confident and comfortable and experienced as they are. They're great at working on the car. I do all the research. I am in every classic GM front-wheel drive Facebook group and forum and whatever, talking to people, figuring out what do we need to do about this, and this. And I've talked to. I do feel like I've been smart enough to talk to other people who have been in lemons. Be like, what do I do about this? Like, what do we need to do? Before I race, we had a couple of other people who've done it a long time, come look at our car. Like, what have we forgotten that, I'd rather find out now than, Friday afternoon at tech that we've forgotten to install a fire suppression system or something like that.
So you're like our Bill.
I was just thinking the same thing. Like Bill's like, I don't say I'm willing to work on the car, but you want to work on the car, Vicky. Not something I really want to do.
But Bill's got it together. Let me tell you, he's the one that's talking to everybody and collecting data.
That's right. But enough about me. What do you think about me?
Okay. So
no, it's an important role for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, Matthew's A-body knowledge has been indispensable. He knows the most random facts about cars no one cares about.
Just to clarify, there's like rear drive cars, I mean, there's
no, that would be entirely too easy. They handle well. There's space to work on them. That doesn't work for us. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah, we wanted to come into lemons and be completely ignored and just drive on the track for 24 hours.
now, do you guys theme your car or just kind of just put it out on the track?
Someone else can take this. I've been talking a lot.
We've stuck with the theme that the previous owners had, which was that it was a BMW. We do plan to change that theme, but previously we were just more focused on getting the car what we thought would be solid and prepared for the race, and it turned out well. We feel like we ended up with a great car and a great outcome at the race. So I think if we can get time, we are trying to swap an engine before May for the next race, but if there's enough time, we'd like to put some effort into the theme for sure.
We did lean into the theme at least.
We definitely improved on it a lot.
Yeah, we're running BMW wheels. That's pretty much it.
But it really makes it have the look.
So what car is impersonating this BMW?
It's an 86 Buick Century.
96.
96 Buick Century. I'm sorry.
They're very different. Okay.
And the funny thing is there's nothing different about them at all.
Very true.
So do you guys have any goals or dreams or bucket list items for maybe this season or going
I want to stay in the top 3. We got a 3rd place finish in our class.
Wow.
That's impressive.
We fought for it too.
Yeah.
Maybe you
These
should
guys
be
are
interviewing
both
us.
solid drivers.
Yeah, it turns out we're all pretty good drivers, which is convenient. Kind of nice.
Yeah,
pretty good for class C anyways.
Right.
So what does your upcoming season look like?
So they've taken away quite a few of the races near us this year.
Did they?
Because usually there's 2 CMP races a year. This year there's none. Our closest race is 6 hours away, and then it's 10 hours plus after that. So
Are you guys
we've got,
coming north?
You've got 2 Lucky Dog races right near you, though.
I know we've sort of offhandedly talked about doing those because Charlotte's really close to us, and Lucky Dog is doing CMP this year. So, but it's in May. It's right after we want to go to Sebring. But I don't know. Well, we're gonna look and see. But yeah, we want to do a couple of races, especially since it looks like this year might actually happen. Get a good 3 or 4 races in. Alex is from Kentucky, so we may haul the car out to Kentucky National
NCM?
Corvette Museum, Sebring, Road Atlanta.
We could tell you what you should do. It's up to you guys. You go have fun.
Okay.
He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, what should we do?
Well, since you asked.
So do you guys have a racing philosophy? Just win. Just top 3.
Yeah. Podium.
Well, it's funny because I was always I really impressed upon the other 2, with my vast and varied racing knowledge. Before we went to our race, I was like, I want to be, not kind of a one of the more lemon spirity teams. Like I don't want to get any black flags. I don't want to be fighting with other teams. I don't want,
you're not those guys.
Right. We're not real. I don't want to be real racers. You can have a fast car and still not be real racers. So that just doesn't appeal to me. I get hyper. If I start being competitive, I get hyper competitive. And like, that's just not how I want to be. Like this, I want to be more for fun. Still really enjoying racing because we enjoy racing, but, racing because we enjoy it, not because we need to, win or finish in a certain place or whatever. I mean, we do joke about wanting to win. I mean, it would be fun to win Class C, but, it's not like we're going to go home sore and defeated if we get, last place.
Yeah. Being, so new, our first race, my main philosophy was I just wanted to keep the car on the track for as much of the racing as we could. I mean, we were all kind of stretching ourselves to, feel okay with affording it, because even though it is a budget series, it's still not super cheap, and we just wanted to make the most of our time and money spent, and just keep it out there as long as we could. In my back of my mind, I was like, as long as we can keep the car on for half of the race, I'll be happy. But if we break down in the first half and we have to haul it home after sitting there for the rest of the race, then I'll probably be disappointed. But luckily it didn't work out badly for us.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty united on starting that race with low expectations. Because it was like a couple different things. I mean, it was a lot of our first, with the exception of Matthew, it was our first time doing something that was actual wheel-to-wheel racing. And it was a 24-hour race. So the other component of this was building a race car and building an endurance race car. And, I don't know, how confident we really were that this 96 Buick Century was going to be able to handle that for 24 hours. And I think finishing the race, and I mean, we were in the top 3 in Class C, which was great, but it was also just kind of a validation of like, holy crap, we actually built a working endurance race car, and it made it with like practically no issues. So that was great.
Yeah, that was the first engine swap for you or Matthew, right? The first time you guys were swapping engines.
Yeah.
So that was fun. We had a lot of fun learning experiences putting the car together.
So speaking of your learning experiences, what are some of the things that you've learned?
All of it.
What were some of your big ahas? I mean, you guys just gave one like really, really good example. Like, oh my gosh, we actually got this car to the track. And
Yeah.
what about being on the track or racing on the track? And what are some of the things that after how many races did you do last year?
One.
Oh, just the one?
Yeah.
So how many, I mean, coming off that track, what were some of the things that you realized that you didn't realize before?
For me, it was surprisingly not nearly as overwhelming as I felt like it was going to be when I was on the track and in traffic, having never done that before. You know, I'd done an HPD, but you know, we had safe passing sections and everybody's in their cars that they care about. And now we're on this racetrack where people don't really care about their cars. They're just flying. And a lot of people showed more courtesy than I expected, I guess, on the track. And Matthew had expressed to us his feelings about, you know, being, you know, the friendly team. He wanted to, his idea was sort of to be the most liked team, whether we won, lost, broke down, what. We were there to, you know, help people if we could and just have a good time and be a good time. And so, you know, we try to do that on the track too, I think. And also just because we were so slow, you know, I figured we would just be getting crushed the whole time. But it was really fun to pick up the races with people close to us and have our own race, you know, within the race.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what made it the most exciting.
Yeah, speed's only part of endurance racing. It's not the whole equation. Bodies in the car quickly and your car staying on that track.
Oh, that's
Healthy.
the biggest thing we learned.
That is the biggest thing.
Yeah, it's better. We killed ourselves pitting. I mean, we absolutely murdered our time with our pitting, and it's amazing we still were able to get third. I think
in a bad way.
Yeah, in a very bad way. If we would have pit any way reasonably, I think we had a chance at second at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because second place was a car that went really slow, but they just never left the track.
Right.
So
Right.
was first.
So go into your next race. What are some things that you feel you'll definitely do differently?
I would say we're definitely going to be more prepared for doing pit stops in the hot pit.
Mm-hmm.
Walking away from the first race, or I mean, it was really like during the race, I think we all realized how woefully unprepared we were for hot pits. So for like the first several fill-ups, we were actually driving to the gas station just right beside the entrance to CMP, and that meant coming off the track, and then that meant also essentially losing a lap every time because you need to go all the way around and cross the finish line before your lap counter starts counting laps again. So that was really killing us. And that was all the way up until, and this is like to Matthew's credit of being friendly. He had some friends, made some friends there with that Volvo team. And they had a nice spot under the roof section at CMP, and they flipped their car, and they're out of the race. The car rolled over, it had a collision with a Mustang, and they were really gracious, and they offered us their spot. So we took their spot, and then they let us use their fill cans for the hot pit. And as soon as we moved our paddock to that spot, our pit times were considerably better, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So going forward, I think we're definitely going to be more focused on shortening those times, maybe even more.
Yeah, it's amazing how giving everybody is, and you know, really kind of wanting. I mean, you think it is competitive, but you know, everybody really wants everybody in the race. So, you know, they're really trying to help out as much as they can.
Yeah. And I think everyone knows how much time and effort it takes to get to a race weekend, and like how bad it sucks when some little thing, you know, ruins your weekend. And it's like, oh, can I help these, spend an hour and help these people not have their race weekend that they've worked so hard for ruined. It's just really awesome to be a part of that and experience that hopefully on both sides one day. I don't feel like we really got to give a lot, but it's nice that people were there to help us for our first race, some of our deficiencies that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we upgraded a lot throughout the race. I think we collected like 6 speed fill gas cans in the middle of the race. We got the garage spot. Yeah, we upgraded a lot.
That's
Wow.
awesome, though.
Yeah. And they actually also gave us the gas they're holding on to for the night.
Yeah.
Because the gas station was already staying open way past when they usually would, but they were still closing at, I think, 1 a.m. And we didn't really have a plan for beyond 1 a.m. I think we brought some like jerry cans with us, like the kind you use to fill your lawnmower, but that was it.
So you guys did a true 24.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the stars were aligned. Everything just worked out.
True.
So
It really did.
Yeah.
how was
It
a
sounds
true
cliche,
24
It was
for you
exhausting.
guys? Yeah.
Exhausting.
Would you do a true 24 again?
If we don't get any other races between now and the next local 224, I probably would.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys live in this lap of luxury. You upgrade to a garage, you get free gas, you get Hunsackers from instead of lawnmower fillers. So you've done a couple things. You've played on the track enough. You may have gotten to the point where you're able to look back upon your superfluous career of a top 3 finish, and you may actually be able to provide our audience with our favorite question, which is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the good means something that went well or something you would do again. And the bad means something that didn't go well, or you probably wouldn't do that again. And the ugly, it's story time, buddies. So what do we got?
I'll take the ugly.
Very well.
The ugly for me was eating heavy food before racing.
Yes.
It
Oh.
was a terrible idea. I had no idea.
It's worse for the guy getting in after you.
Well, I just had a nervous stomach that I wasn't quite aware of, and we had a couple other guys, the guys in the Volvo, when they wrecked their car. We had one in particular come do a couple stints. We gave him a couple stints in our car, which was a blessing for me because for a couple of my stints, my stomach was hurting so bad I couldn't get out in the race car. But my girlfriend had made us some pasta dinner before, and I had just eaten it, and I'm thinking about it. I was talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't need anything but maybe a banana before I race." I was like, "That sounds like a good idea."
So just to quantify this ugly, did you decorate the inside of your helmet?
Definitely not. Definitely
Okay.
not. No.
Right.
But I did have to bail out of one of my stints and yell at one of the other teammates to jump in the car as I sprinted away from the track to the bathhouse.
That happens
Right, Jen?
all the time.
It does. Okay, we got an ugly. Anybody got a good or a bad or an ugly? We love uglies. We'll take 3 uglies. We don't really care about the good and bad. What do you think, Matthew?
Oh, no. Let's see. I'm not on mute. Okay. I keep messing that up. So something that we would do again, or something that we wouldn't do again, or something ugly.
Yep. Or something you found out that somebody if you were telling somebody that's going to their first race, you should do this or you should not do that.
I wish we had gotten a camper with a larger water supply.
Oh, do you see?
Yeah.
When you do that, you got tips and tails when you're in there. That's all you get.
We used up all the water in our camper at like Friday.
Wow.
Yeah.
What you guys?
After the
What
first
were you
shower,
guys
it was
like
gone.
taking Hollywood showers or something?
No, I mean, I don't know. It just all of a sudden went away. we were like using the bathroom and flushing the toilet, and then we got to like, it was we'd use the bathroom, like pour just a little teeny bit of bottled water and to flush it down instead once we ran out. And it's like, I could really use a shower right now, but there's no water.
Oh no.
At least you got it done early though. True 24, you get in and out a little earlier. So yeah.
Yeah. So I wish we had a little, but we all, I think we would have paid 5 times what we paid for the camper to have it again.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was an extremely well thought out decision for a group of rookies, was having a camper at the 24. But yeah, just one with a little bit more water capacity, or maybe realizing just how much water goes away every time you flush.
Yes.
Or
best practices when you shower.
Right.
To rent the camper near the track. Don't rent the camper where you live and tow it to the track.
No.
That was foolish. That was very foolish of us.
In our defense, there's nothing around Carolina Motorsports Park.
Very
So
true.
Well,
there wasn't a whole lot of options.
They do have people that will deliver them. So, which is awesome.
You just have to make sure when you do the rental, you make sure to tell them that there are no facilities. So you need full water and empty other.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot you can do. You don't just want to straight pipe it straight to the paddock area. That make you very unhappy.
Or run your generator all night.
That's right. Well, it depends on the generator. Some generators, it's not a big deal. Not so much. We have a new guest.
Hi.
Alexander Coulthard. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me. Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
No
That's
worries.
okay.
You look like you're practicing your driving.
Yeah, it is still in the middle of the workday out here, so I just had to sneak away.
Oh, where are you at?
I am in Sacramento, California right now.
Nice.
Ooh, well,
Look, it's
that
still
explains the
sunny.
blue sky.
Yeah, it's been raining here all week, but that's the first time that's happened in 10 years. So
That's okay. You guys need a little bit of water every now and then.
maybe. It's funny, every time it rains here, you can go to any AutoZone or Walmart, and the trash cans are just full with new windshield wiper packages, just like littered all over the street, because everyone just sprints to go get new wipers because they haven't put any on in 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We had something similar to that in Dallas. Whenever it would rain, you'd see a bunch of people go to the tire rental place and go rent some new tires, because the bald / slick version does not work in the rain as well as something with tread.
Yeah, you can have a dually 3500 truck with bald tires, and it's not going to do any better in the ice.
No, not so much. Not so much.
Trust me. A bunch of Texas guys up here right now.
Yes, very well. So Andrew, you're hitting cleanup on this one. We didn't want to subject Alexander right off the bat to our stupid question. So, good, bad, or ugly?
So, are we on? Oh, wait.
Oh, other one.
So, I guess we're on the good. Is that what's left?
It
Is that
doesn't
what
have
hasn't
to
been
be
done?
good. Honestly,
Okay.
we'd rather have an ugly, but we'll take a good or a bad.
Well, we won IOE. I think that's good. I like to do that again, but we'll see. Chances aren't high for that, I hear.
Need a gimmick.
It's tough to do that in the same car.
I would say what surprised me a bit, and this is probably just something that all rookies experience, maybe their first time doing like a long 24-hour race, is like before the race, I feel like the four of us, we all get along really well. Like we really don't have, we don't get into fights. I mean, we're pretty good. But this 24-hour race, it got to a point where I think it was testing our mental endurance a bit. And we were, there were some times when we were getting a little testy with each other, maybe. And that's what surprised me. And
Yeah, I kind of wasn't overly prepared for that, for just how tired and worn out and stressed we were going to be in all of it.
So, not having done a true 24 by choice, what was Monday like?
Alex has a good story about that.
So I had to get back to work. I think I headed to Nashville after that, but I had rented this terrible like convertible what's that? What are those Aberrasts? Are they Alfa Romeos?
Fiat.
Yeah.
No, it's a Fiat 124, a bar.
Fiat 124, yeah, that's what it was. It's one of those things.
Oh, so the Miata clone.
Yeah, but louder.
Yes.
So I'm driving and I've got to get to the airport. They're headed home, and I just changed my flight because I realized that they're not staying the night, which in hindsight would have been a good idea. So after not sleeping during the race and also probably doing an all-nighter the night before to do a red eye to make it to the flight, I'm like 3 days no sleep. So I'm driving to the airport and I make it halfway, and I just do the like sensible thing and pull over and like, I'm going to take a nap in this 2-seater convertible in the middle of nowhere on the way to the airport. And that was fine until I was woken up by what seemed to be a relatively nice guy. Who he just walked up to my car. So I like come to consciousness with him looking at me through my window. And he's like, "Hey buddy, what are you doing?" And my dumb ass responds with, "I don't know." Because I genuinely didn't for like 10 seconds. You ever just woken up and been like, "Where are you?" And that answer being, "Oh, I'm in a stranger's Italian Miata in the middle of nowhere, Carolina." And yeah, he turned out to be an undercover cop. He asked me about 5 more questions before I could answer any of them. He asked where I thought I was, and I said Kentucky.
Wow, you missed by a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I missed by a little bit. So he was a good sport when I explained that I just got done with the Lemons race. But good sleep before the race is a good idea. I'll do that next time.
Yeah, you're allowed to sleep on the plane too. You know, you got a 5 hours. You need to.
I can't. I'd love to.
Yeah.
Teach me your ways.
All right, no problem. I lived in Hawaii, so it was that or die. So it's
yeah.
I understand. All right, so you guys were nominated to come on the podcast for basically for one question. What are you thinking about this engine swap?
Which one?
I've heard rumors that there's an engine swap involved for utter domination of C-Class. That is the plan. So exactly what do you guys have in store for the unwitting fellow Lemons competitors that you are now just going to decimate in C-Class?
So as I would tell anyone who would listen previously, as our car currently sits, its only real like performance upgrades are pulling parts off of a similar age crappy GM minivan. And so now we're upping our game and we're pulling parts off of a slightly newer crappy GM minivan for utter domination.
So your path towards sheer domination is what minivan parts can I get?
Exactly. How much like a minivan can we make this crappy old low-end sedan?
There's no fail in this project at all.
No.
So what 1,000 horsepower mammoth engine are you thinking about for this engine swap?
I really wanted to do so. There's a Class C loophole V8.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Trashback Miata.
Yeah. I know which engine it is. So go ahead.
So I wanted to do that. We realized it may be a little bit too much work, so we settled on a slightly larger version of the same V6 that's already in the car.
Okay, so what slightly larger V6 are we thinking of?
Chevy LX9 3.5 liter 60-degree V6.
So for Vicky, whose eyes just crossed with all those letters and numbers, what engine is this, sir? How would you describe this monster?
What, the engine?
Yeah.
What about it?
Well, I mean, she's not familiar with LX9s and things like that. So let's give her a little
Clay
more.
doesn't think it's as weird as you might.
Yes. I like that Clay is just sitting here laughing. The guy who's talking about the engine swap, no problem. The other two who have to actually do the work are sitting there going, I don't know what this guy's smoking. I see what's going on here, Matthew. So Matthew, you're leading this team down this path with this superstar smooth engine swap. What could go wrong with this plan?
I see no potential things that could go wrong. It's only going to go right.
Okay. So
How bad can it be?
how hard can it be, right? So when are we going to start this engine swap?
I actually just went and collected our minivan Friday.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. So we're moving down this path now. Okay.
Yeah.
And when's the next race?
May.
Of what year?
This one.
You're okay. So wait a minute. Hold on. So we've got a donor engine in I'm assuming a minivan chassis. Is this
Indeed, yes.
Oh, okay. Because that's where everybody goes for true racing parts.
Yep.
And you're gonna pull that engine. What year is this donor?
2005.
Oh, 2005. So that's an OBD2, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to pull the OBD2 2005 minivan engine and put it into your Buick Century, correct?
Yes, which
Correct.
is also OBD2.
OBD2. Okay. All right. And you're going to get this done and ready for the race in May of
12 hours.
Okay. 12 hours. Okay.
If the turbos get here in time.
With turbos?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What kind of turbos are we doing for this?
The one you put in the intake line.
Oh, that kind.
Spin up. Yeah.
The
Looks like-
exhaust tip turbos.
Looks like a snail kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
In preparation for this,
Sure.
I have actually taken it upon myself
uh-huh.
to do 2 engine swaps since, in addition to the race car, since I got the race car. It's still in progress, but
So the other two, wait a minute, the other 2 engine swaps are done and bulletproof and worked out and everything's good to go, or the other 2 are still in progress?
no, they were more just a proof of concept. Yeah. They don't work yet.
Oh, okay. And how long did they take, sir?
Well, I bought one car last March, and
Okay.
it really is almost done.
Okay, so
I
that's
swear.
12.
I've only got like 3 things left to do.
So 12 months and counting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. What about the second one?
I don't remember when I got that one,
Oh, okay.
and it's just going to the junkyard.
Is
It's
it more
going to
than
the
2 months
scrapper.
ago?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So right now we're looking at late March,
hmm
and you're looking at a race in May. Let's go for the end of May. I don't know which race you're looking at.
It's the first weekend in May.
Oh, the first weekend in May. So you
Oh my
have,
God, I forgot.
so you have 5 weeks. Okay.
All right, looking at plane tickets now.
Alex, I wouldn't bother. You've got
Matthew assures us this is a bolt-in engine swap.
Bolton
Yeah.
with the
Bolton.
turbo.
Done before, so
Matthew is the
there's a whole-
team optimism.
Okay.
I can confirm that Matthew does have the donor vehicle because I was driving on the road the other day and I'm sitting at an intersection and I see the Suburban turning left in front of me. and I see that like someone in the passenger who I have never seen before, didn't recognize, was waving as he went by. And I see this trailer. I'm thinking, wow, that aluminum trailer looks familiar. And then I see a Pontiac Montana parked on top of it. And I'm like, I know who this is now.
Oh boy. Okay.
But I mean, this is actually less ambitious than what we were originally thinking, because we were going to originally make this. We're going to make it all-wheel drive, right, Matt? Eventually.
Yeah, that was bandied about. I was trying to get y'all excited about it.
Oh, let me guess. You were going to make it all-wheel drive by putting in a front-wheel drive engine and a rear-wheel drive engine.
No, that's down the road.
Oh, that's down the road.
That's
Okay.
down the road.
That's been tossed around.
Oh, okay. I'm
I
sure.
I gotta finish my courses at MIT first.
Probably. Okay. So when are we going to get this done, guys?
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Which part of it will be done?
All of it.
Full the first
Turnkey.
engine.
Oh, full
Ready to
thing.
go.
Full thing, ready to go. Okay, this should be great. Are we documenting this?
I guess we should,
I
huh?
don't intend to.
I'm really hoping you do.
I mean, I want to see this. I mean, this could be stellar.
We
Either
should
way.
set up a live camp.
Oh, that would be even better. Yeah.
Maybe a time lapse.
Time lapse.
Yeah.
Time lapse would be great.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Time lapse
I
would
have to
be
get
awesome.
some bigger memory cards if we're doing a time lapse.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. Okay.
That's my
So this is the plan. You're going with this. This is written in stone, so to speak. We're going with this minivan to Century conversion.
We really think it's worth the extra 40 horsepower. We're just convinced.
Okay.
The 25% boost.
Okay.
Percentages don't lie.
Let me try one more. Let me
Yeah.
try one more thing. You came in third in your race, right?
We did.
Mhm.
Okay. How far behind first were you?
Ooh, it was a lot. It was.
Yeah, pretty
Was
far.
it like 20 laps?
20 laps. Okay. Did you guys break down at
Yeah.
all?
No.
No?
Not
Well,
after
there was
practice
there,
day.
we ran out of gas on track one time.
That's true. Yeah, that was me.
but that was it.
So that's
I
probably
was told how not to run out of gas, but I still did it.
so that's probably I don't know, let's say 2 laps, maybe more.
Yeah, we had to
Yeah,
sit there for a
somewhere
little
there.
bit for the truck to come.
What do you think?
Yeah.
5 laps?
It's a small track, so
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I
Awesome.
forgot CMP or small track. So
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
as
like-
many as
like-
8 or 10.
like 2-minute lap, like 2-minute laps. So
Yeah,
quite a
I
few
feel
laps.
like we could have made up 10 laps easy with our pit
Okay.
strategy.
So 10 laps with the fuel or 10 laps with your pit and the running out of fuel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Both?
I think just speeding up our pits could have gotten us 10 laps more.
Okay. And then running out of fuel would have gotten you 5 laps more?
Possibly. It
Okay.
took a while because we were as far away from the paddock as we could be. They had to drive over there and hook us up and then take us all the way back to our paddock. And then we had to let our starter cool. That was one of our other big issues. The only 2 issues we really had with the car were if you let the gas tank go below half, it would cut out if you braked hard and turned right and at the same time, which Matthew seemed to figure out how not to do, but the rest of us struggled. And if it cuts off because it's automatic, it would just turn off, and then our starter would be too hot for it to restart until you waited long enough for the starter to slow down. So we plan to repair both. We've worked on our fuel system, and we've got a smaller starter, and we're gonna try to wrap it with as much heat shielding as we can and try to fix that problem.
So you've got 15 of your 20 laps with just pit stops and running out of gas.
So what can we possibly do for the other 5?
Well,
40 horsepower.
well okay. So what kind of tires are you guys running?
I'll take this one because they don't remember. We're doing a hand-cooked Ventus RS4.
Okay. All right. And what about brake pads?
Ray Bestos ST
43.
We wanted ST43s, but like after I placed the order and 2 months went by and I called and they were like, we can't get it. An ST45 is just as, I was like, okay, fine. So Ray Bestos ST45.
Did you order them from Porterfields?
I did.
Oh, Wendy. We're going to have to talk to Wendy for you.
Okay.
Like there was a pandemic or something slowing things down last year. Weird.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't order anything last year. We had everything.
They were possibly the best part of the car, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. We've got good tires. We've got good brakes. What else? What else, Miss Vicky or Jen? Can make up for a couple
Brake
laps.
coolers.
Brake coolers would be nice.
Yeah.
Got
Our
the
rotor's
best
cracked.
in the market.
Did you have any loose nuts?
Only behind the wheel.
Exactly.
They all look at each other.
Besides the drivers?
Exactly. That's the loose nut that needs a little bit of loving. HPDE.
Andrew has been trying.
Yeah, we have. We were signed up for one recently. We were trying to go to, and it got canceled because of an ice storm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Atlanta?
Yeah. This one was we were going to do an HBD at VIR. I think it was called Winterfest with a Mustang Club.
Yep.
It was kind of scary.
Yeah.
But Ice Storm got that one.
I mean, you guys, it's your team, it's your car. You do anything you want, but it doesn't sound like you need an engine swap.
Well, we're just worried because we're speed limited, and we're worried about the longer straights on Sebring. So we have a computer with a speed limiter removed, but it's for the LX9. So we have the LX9. We thought we could do it. We've considered just running the same engine and swapping the injectors, and I guess that is still on the table, maybe.
Well, after next weekend.
I did find out we don't actually have to swap our injectors. It's just the computer will be running them at like 90 to 95% of what they're designed for, so they probably won't last at all, but they will work.
Oh boy.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sebring. It's got some good straights from what I remember, which means you've got some good braking zones.
Yes.
Right? So
You're great at late braking.
Well, that is important. And you've got good brakes and good tires, so you should be good.
If we're lucky, it'll rain. We picked up Andrew specifically was in the car when it started raining, and we made up most of our time in the rain because everybody else slowed down not to spin out, and we could just drive as hard as we were before.
That front wheel domination.
And I felt like it was easier to keep things cool, so we actually probably went faster in the rain than we did dry.
Really?
That's true.
And I went into that super kind of skittish about the rain because I don't know, I'm always in rear wheel drive cars, and but after doing a couple laps in the rain, it started raining as soon as my stint started, and after a couple laps, I was just like, holy crap, this car can you can just push this car and like it just goes and you don't spin out. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Ventus RS4s for life.
Yeah.
I'm sold
Awesome
on those tires.
They do last forever.
They just
it was weird, like looking back at the videos and stuff. Andrew was passing other front wheel drive cars who had passed us in the dry, and like all-wheel drive cars who had passed us in the dry. So I'm not sure what it is about the Buick Century that's so much better in the wet, but Andrew just really made it work.
I think the word reckless abandon comes to mind. We weren't as worried about trading paint having the Buick than maybe the Miatas and what was like 7 BMWs on the track.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So this is the path. We're going to get some time lapse of next weekend's engine swap. Oh,
the engine swap is going to go great. That's going to be done in time. We're going to show up to Sebring, and it's just going to pour rain the entire time. That's the plan.
Okay. All right.
We're getting the car. We're getting the car street legal, so we might just drive it to Sebring.
Well, I mean, that's a good shakedown run.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you going to drive on your Hankook RS4s, or are you going to?
They'd probably be fine.
They would be fine.
Probably. We'll drive on the old one.
Yeah, drive
The
on
new
the
one's
Yeah.
pretty good there.
Yeah, they had
The
like
scuffs.
50% tread left still. It was amazing.
They're,
Mhm.
What
They're
what can you tell us about Sebring, Bill?
they're made of iron. Oh, Sebring? I've never driven Sebring yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
Have any of you, Vicky?
No.
Jen?
no, neither one.
Okay.
No, it's a little out of our range. We do one or two travel trips, but we're up in the Northeast, so Sebring's a bit of a haul for us. We've done Road Atlanta. We've done, well, of the tracks you're talking about, NCM. We've done the Charlotte Roval. We haven't done CMP because it's most of our team is related to school. They're either teachers or involved with the schools. So the CMP races are tough for us because they're either school still going or school's just starting. So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
we'll get there. But it should be fun. I think you guys will have a good time. I think the engine swap will be interesting. Wish you good luck. I mean,
Appreciate that.
you know,
Thank you.
what could go wrong? How
Not
hard,
that we need it.
how hard could it be?
No,
You
we
know
don't need
what?
I have faith in them.
If
Okay.
it goes bad, if we get the other motor in the car and it doesn't work, we'll just pull it out and put our old one back in.
Oh,
There you go. And then we'll have to have you back on so you can tell us all about it.
that's right. Well, we'll be watching. I mean, I can't wait for this. You know what's even better? This podcast is likely to come out the Monday after your engine swap weekend.
So you can get a follow up.
So maybe we could have like a 10-minute, hey,
Well-
how'd that go on Sunday night next week?
It'll probably go like,
Everything went great.
Ended up busy. We didn't even try.
It
As
rained.
long as it's like after 9 on Sunday.
No problem. I'll stay up for you. Not a problem. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next Sunday then. That'll be awesome. All right.
Alex, you're going to be here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he sounds
We're
thrilled.
driving now.
I've
Yeah.
made worse things with less time work. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, when you're driving back to the airport, just make sure you say hello to Mr. Policeman this time.
He was a nice guy. Genuinely. I think he gave me a Monster energy drink that I did not drink.
Are you sure this wasn't the policeman from the Village People?
He was off duty undercover,
Ah.
and they don't have that village person yet. That's the seventh member.
Oh,
I think.
okay. All right. Very well. Miss Vicky,
Yes.
you're up.
Okay. So we're going to enter into what we like to call the Fast and Furious Storytime questions. And they're
Vin
just,
Diesel.
yeah, they're kind of like rapid fire. Just going to get to know you a little bit better. And Jennifer's going to kick it off.
I am. So I'm going to start with, what was your first car and what was the worst car you ever had? So let's start with Matthew.
My first car was a 1990 Buick Century. I was never so happy to get rid of a car in my life. Never wanted anything to do with another one again. And here we are.
There we are. What about you, Andrew?
So my first car was a 88 BMW 325. Love that car. Broke my heart when I wrecked it. And the worst car I ever had, I inherited from my grandfather, actually not that long ago. And it was an 85 Buick Century. And it had 40,000 miles on it, but it was just nonstop problems. So I sold it and used that money to buy a Volkswagen Passat, and I still have that car, and I love it.
Oh, that's interesting. What about you, Alex? The other Alex?
A 1989 Chevy Silverado that was only 2-wheel drive and blew up the first time I drove it faster than 80.
What year was it?
1989.
Nice. And what's the worst car you've ever had?
Same answer.
Oh. What about you, Clay?
I typically have not bought an American car since, honestly.
How about that?
I'll try
Clay,
again
you're up.
sometime.
My first car was a 2004 Explorer Sport Track, the one with the little 4-foot bed on the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was super practical, but it's not the coolest thing in the world. But I loved it.
What's the worst car you've ever had?
I don't know. I've never really had a bad car. I mean, I guess I had an '86 E30 325E, I think. But I mean, it had potential to be a good car. I just never did anything with it. Ended up selling it when I found something else I wanted more.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
So, who was your favorite race car driver growing up? Anybody have one?
Earnhardt. I was a big Earnhardt fan as a kid.
How about the rest of you guys? Do you guys have one? Sometimes people just don't have them.
Yeah, I have to say I don't.
The other way.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I really don't have one. And I've got like a bunch of track buddies close to here, and everyone just seems so into following professional race car driving stuff, but I just can't get into it. So
Andrew, it's okay. You can say Ben Dawson. A lot of people have.
he's one of them for sure.
Okay. All right, very well. All right. What about you, Matthew?
Yeah, I really don't. I never really watched racing growing up or followed it or anything like that. Even like through my life, I've gone through fits where I was like, I'm going to be a race fan. I was like, okay, this is boring.
Yeah, right.
Very nice. Alexander?
If I remember it correctly, because I haven't thought about it in a long time, I feel like Mario Andretti was doing like both F1 and he did some NASCAR races and some other stuff.
Yeah, he raced just about anything.
Right. I think that was my hero as a kid. Of him just like didn't care what it was. Does it have 4 wheels and a steering wheel? I'm in.
Yeah, he's still kind of that way now, but yeah.
Okay. To piggyback on that, then we'll just continue with you, Alexander. Front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, but I don't know if I'll drive a daily driver that isn't all-wheel drive ever again, because I am constantly driving through Donner Pass and through like the Reno, Truckee, Sacramento corridor.
Yeah.
And I've driven through more blizzards this year than girlfriends in the last 5 years. So all-wheel drive is good in the snow.
Just so you're aware, Alexander, driving through girlfriends is not the best path.
Well, that's why I haven't done
legal
very
in
many.
some states.
I mean, even during COVID, they really don't they frown upon that.
Yeah, I hear that.
And next thing you know, you got a Vimeo account for a lawyer because no, I'm like kidding.
No worries.
So, Clay, what about you?
I think that rear-wheel drive is the most fun for just hooning. I've always wanted to have a car with a welded diff just to play with. I know it would be completely impractical, but I currently have an all-wheel drive.
We race one, by the way.
Yeah, you enjoy it.
It's a truck.
You race with a welded diff?
It's a truck.
Oh.
With a welded diff?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
We never said we were smart.
I like it.
Try.
Andrew,
Yeah,
how about you?
I think, it's because my first car was rear wheel drive. My second car was, my third car was. I mean, I was pretty adamant about rear wheel drive. And I gotta be honest, when, I thought of racing a front wheel drive automatic Buick Century, I was not that excited about it. After that race though, I think my mind has kind of changed, and I think I really just don't care anymore. If it's got four wheels and it's on a track, like that's it. Like that's fun. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Matthew?
I similarly am pretty agnostic. I think I generally I've never actually had an all-wheel drive vehicle. I think I always shy away from them because I'm like, problems, expensive tires, like all this stuff, parasitic drag. But like, I mean, I've got a 07 Civic Si that is just a blast to drive. I mean, it's front wheel drive car, simple. I mean, I like rear wheel drive cars. I appreciate them. I think they're great, but I just don't think it's always practical to have something rear wheel drive. Also, fun, non-related anecdotal moment, if I could, going back to the welded diffs. So the Volvo that I raced in 2019, Volvo 240 with a welded diff, which weirdly is really common on those. So remember that was my first ever like track experience. I spun out on turn one.
Oh geez.
Like pulled out of pit lane, like what finished the blend line, turn one, spun out.
Oh well.
You're not the
but
first.
That was like the whole problem that I had the whole race. I've never really I had one other kind of incident that race, but yeah, so not a huge fan of the welded diff over here. But I now own one for some reason.
Ah.
Who knows why?
Never say never.
There's nothing quite like a welded diff on Road Atlanta. Let me just tell you.
Oh man.
So, what is the fastest that you've ever driven? What car and where and when?
Pick one, Beck.
I'm ashamed to say that my fastest was not on a track. Yeah.
That's okay. A lot of our guests have said the same thing.
The fastest I've been in a car was 136. My freshman year roommate took me out in his GTS Celica that he was quite proud of and scared the crap out of me. I'd known him for 2 weeks and I was like, I'm never riding in a car with you again.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I did. I had a Mustang GT for a little while, and I did 126 in it one morning, coming back from Morganton to Shelby, which is some mountain roads.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took a portion to the track last year and was only able to do like 125, and I was kind of ashamed.
What track?
VR.
Yeah, that's bad. Unless it's a 914 or something, then yeah.
It was grain course, so we didn't get the whole back straightaway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was my first time on track, and it was like 500 shred wear tires. It was like 40, maybe 41 degrees.
That's
and
awesome.
75,000 mile suspension. I can list a whole bunch more excuses if you'd like.
You are a race car driver. Nice. Matthew?
I have done an indicated 167, which I've read. It was in a BMW, and I've read that the BMW knew it was doing 155. It just for some reason told me it was doing 167.
Doesn't sound very German.
So it may have been 167, but I read that it knew to stop to pull the reins in at 155. It was a borrowed BMW M6 Grand Coupe on a highway. I was pissed. I was driving from Raleigh to my parents' house at the coast, and there were two lanes going my way, and there was one car in one lane and then one car in the other lane, not quite far enough back for anyone to get around. and they would just sort of sort of slide back and forth past each other. And I mean, this was for like 20 minutes, and I was pissed. And I finally got around them. There was a mile or two of straight open, freshly paved asphalt. So I already had the throttle pinned. So I was like, I wonder what this car will do.
This was going out I-40?
No, not even I-40, just a state highway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Alex?
Actually, the car that I'm in, this 2009 supercharged Range Rover Sport it's got like a Jaguar V8. It stopped me from going any faster at 130 at the Great Salt Desert in Utah.
Ooh.
And it was
Nice.
a lot of fun. I want to do races just on Salt Desert. Like that's like so much fun. It's like gives in just the right way and holds up. I like that.
I don't know if Jay's going to be an advocate of racing on the Salt Lake, but well, I'll talk to him next time I see him. Andrew, you got you going to take first place, or are you going to let your teammates?
I don't think I'm going to beat 167 here.
Yeah.
So not ashamed about that. I want to say the fastest I've ever been was when Matthew was driving the Porsche we were using to tow the race car.
This is a Range Rover.
All right, sorry, Range Rover. I got the fancy SUVs confused. But it was a nice one. It was supercharged. What was it?
Huh? It was the Range Rover, the Land Rover Range Rover Sport Supercharged Autobiography.
Oh, wow. Well, hopefully the fastest wasn't while you were towing.
No.
Okay, that's good.
Honestly, I mean, maybe my first car, kind of on a public road, country road, we did stupid things when we were young. So, maybe on a country road, maybe going 130 around there. I mean, that's far, far too fast.
For sure.
We're
Well,
lucky
that's
enough.
that's why we do stupid things on a track now. So that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Jen?
Oh, you usually ask this one.
Do I? Okay. All
Oh
right.
yeah, this is your question, Bill.
This is your question, Bill.
All right. So usually we only have one person on at a time. So we're gonna have to do this the hardest way. You're each going to get one, and then you're all going to have to pick one that you all have. So we're going to have a desert island, and on our desert island there is a racetrack. Okay. And on that racetrack, we have one track that is asphalt and one track that is dirt. So it's pretty much anything that you could want. Now, as a thank you for coming on to our podcast, we want to make sure that we have the car that you need to fully enjoy your trip to our desert island race course. So you get 5 cars between you. Each of you gets one, and then you have to vote on what the 5th one will be. So,
Oh, wow.
5 cars.
It's just like, wow.
we want to make sure you enjoy your trip to the island. So, does anybody have a car yet? You guys look a little puzzled.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Clay's got his car.
Just so you know, I picked a taco truck.
She did pick a taco truck.
Everybody needs a taco truck.
That's smart. Good on a desert island. Mine would be a GT3 997 GT3 RS.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Okay, we've got one Porsche in the crowd. Alexander's wringing his fingers. Matthew's scratching his chin.
The dirt throws it off if it was just asphalt or just dirt, but what's going to be fun on both of those?
Well, it does. I mean, one
everything.
of your teammates could give you one for the dirt, and you could just take asphalt. I mean, you don't have to drive on both. It's just that they're both there.
I'll do the simple flickable dual mode car, my said 07 Civic Si, which I have actually done an HPDE and a rallycross in, both at VIR. And it was really actually equally fun at both.
Okay. All right. So there's your dirt car. What do you think, Alex?
What do I think?
What
I
do you
can
want to
take
throw?
anything. Am I trying to beat anyone, or am I just racing with myself?
You're just trying to have.
That would be a question.
The goal of our podcast
The
is to
most
have
fun?
people enjoy driving. So what car?
Yeah, I would take a untouched E46 M3. Honestly,
Good call.
It's not a bad one. Not a bad one. I'm about to unwrap mine from winter hibernation. Hopefully, we'll see. Andrew,
Joe.
you still got yours. What do you got?
I've always wanted to drive, a European version of an E36 M3.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's something I'll really ever be able to, get a chance to drive otherwise.
No
I'm
problem.
gonna go with that.
That's a good one. All right, guys, what do you think? You got your team car. Is it going to be another Buick Century with a dual engine, 4-wheel drive? Took 2 days to
No,
build.
the Porsche's fine. Porsche's fine.
Another Porsche.
You gonna have another Porsche? You want another Porsche? How about this? You get the RS 4.0.
Oh yeah, that'd be solid.
There you go.
Why not a 959? We can do it. Take it in the dirt.
Hope it's a big track.
It's your car.
yeah. Sideways, but
Yeah, 959 would be really cool.
959? 959 all around?
I'm with it.
All right. Very well. 959. Mark it down. Vicky, put the order in.
I got it. I'm on it.
All right. Very well.
Cool. You'll have
take
that
in
by next
red.
weekend.
Might take a little longer. That 959 is a little tricky, but we'll do what we can for you.
Let's see if we can get the engine swap done before that thing shows up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. So, guys, for the racing, and if you had your opportunity to pick any car that you would like to start a build from, which one would it be?
I'm sorry. What did you say? Did you say
So
which car would we like to start the build? A new
Yes.
build from?
Your
Absolutely.
dream car for a race car to start
Oh
from.
man. Well, I have a $200 E36 sitting in the backyard, and that just seems ripe for being a race car.
I mean, somebody in your team's looking for an E36 M3. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think we've all got E36s already. Is the problem?
Yeah. Matthew needs one. We all have black E36 coupes at this point, except for Matthew.
We had one until the Charlotte Roval.
Oh no.
Yeah. What do you think, Alex? Where are you going?
For lemons or just
Whatever
For
race
my
series,
need to build.
whatever you want, sir.
there I'm really getting more and more interested into the older Audis. I'd like to rebuild one. I'm actually even thinking about doing one because Andrew knows where one has been abandoned. But if I get something made in the early 90s or something all-wheel drive that I could just do whatever I want with, I like the platform.
So you going rally car? Or are you going? What are you doing?
I think I'd go rally car because I don't know if I'm gonna do anything on the track with anything but my E36. Like that's my road car. But I'd love to make a rally car next.
Very nice. Group B special. All right. Andrew, Matthew, what do you think?
I don't know. It's weird. I spend an inordinate amount of time thinking about this, but I'm kind of drawing a blank.
I mean, once you start with a Buick Century, I mean, there's no place else to go. I mean,
Nowhere to go, but
All downhill.
I'm trying to convince myself that my dream build car is a Volvo 240 because that's my actual next build car.
very nice.
Yeah.
There's a very fast one just a little south of you guys.
Really?
Yeah. It's already
Yeah.
built.
Yeah. No, this one is two separate cars that have to become one.
Well, that should take like a day and a half, so no problem.
Right, yeah. At most.
Yeah. That's high.
I mean, you just get a Volvo 120 and another Volvo 120, and you put them together, and you get a Volvo 240. It's easy.
Quick math.
Very well. Andrew, you got your dream car to build a race car from?
Oh, I think I would maybe, doesn't have to be an M3, but I would love to make a badass track car out of an E30. Just go really wide body and just stuff something big in it. I wouldn't even be that picky. Maybe you could do a case swap. Clay is always talking about wanting to do a case swap on something. So, and I joke around about wanting to throw, some peppy motorcycle engine into something. So, I don't know.
All right, very well.
I like to start that.
You could go with a nice touring car version of that and have a great time. That would work.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. I love the tourings.
Yep. All right, Jen, your favorite question?
My favorite question is, what is your favorite car movie or car from a movie of all time? Clay, you just put a big old smile on your face. What is it? You knew like right off the bat what it was.
Well, I mean, I want to say it's the first Fast and the Furious, but I really like Tokyo Drift. I love Tokyo Drift, and the Monte Carlo in Tokyo Drift is, I don't know, it calls to me.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
What about you, Matthew?
I have to come back. I'm still thinking.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Andrew or Alexander?
You got something, Alex?
Yeah, probably Eleanor in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna have to edit that out because we'll have to pay royalties because they've reserved that name. So
We just got sued.
that's right. It's a female named Mustang. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the first one.
Yes. There you go, Andrew.
This is kind of recent, but I really enjoy that Ford versus Ferrari movie.
Oh yeah.
And
There's no bad cars in that movie.
no,
Yeah, that was really good.
they're all
Good answer.
gorgeous.
Very well.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Or are we still waiting on?
And I don't know. Matthew's kind of punting on this one. What do you think, Matthew? Are you going to come up with something? Are you going to make something up?
Come on, Matt.
I don't really do movies. I
don't know.
constantly catch flack on it for various reasons.
Because you're perusing the forums for front wheel drive GM cars. That's your problem.
There's
You
just
have an
no
invisible
time
cat
to
on
do
your
that.
chest, though.
All right. Maybe Matthew will answer this one for you, Vicky.
Yeah. So here we go. When you guys were racing on the track, was there any particular car that you said, "Hey, I'd really like to give that a shot," that you were racing against? Or were you just trying to make it around the track?
What was that Jeep that was just balls fast?
Oh,
That was
Yeah.
going to be my answer.
the Jeep Cherokee hat car. It's a Jeep Cherokee on a Lexus SC400 chassis.
A little bit of pee every time he would fly around us.
It sounded
It was
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
We understand. We were passed routinely by the Save the Tatas caddy, so we understand.
Yeah, I really like the I think it's a Lincoln Mark 8 that they cut in sections and like squeezed it together and made it a shorter car.
Mhm.
That thing sounds like a NASCAR, and it was awesome. I'd love to drive that thing.
Cool. Did we get everybody? Or did Matthew answer? I'm not
No,
sure.
I'm gonna have to go with one of our Class C competitors. Was this ridiculously fast Mark IV Volkswagen Golf TDI?
Oh.
That I don't know how it lasted more than 45 seconds on the track, but it was still racing when the sun came up. Yeah, I would like to see what that was like to drive.
Very well. Okay.
What was the Porsche kind of like fake clown shoe or
Like the
wagon had a crazy
944?
supercharger in it.
Was it a
So that was a
928?
Mercedes. The
Oh,
I wanna
Mercedes
say it-
SLK 230. I forget what team it
Yeah.
was. But they had dressed it
Pink
up
one.
like a little Tykes car.
Yeah, that thing sounded mental.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very well. All right. Well, we will ask you again in the future what your car you want to switch into. So keep track of it. Make sure you keep that in your mind. Okay,
For sure.
Miss Jen.
So I know you guys kind of went over quite a bit about what your plans are, but just to remind our listeners, I guess, what's the next thing? What are you currently working on? What's next? Like the very next thing, next race, next.
I mean, after your next weekend when you have a fully running, engine swapped car. I mean, what are you doing after that?
I mean, I do think we really want to retheme. I don't know. I mean, I like the BMW Bummer World thing, but we've been talking a lot about rethemes, and we got some that, like, I kind of really like. I think y'all kind of really like it too.
Ooh, theming. That makes Vicky and Jennifer very happy. They love their theming.
Yeah.
It's important.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Theme hard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll just say they had some cool Buick NASCARs back in the day.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all front wheel drive.
Yeah, and I don't think any of them ever won. Maybe once or twice.
They did have the,
Is
Oh, Andrew, you're
I think
Andrew, you went robot.
can you hear me now?
Yep.
Nope.
Nope.
See, we were for
It's about every
Oh,
fifth
and-
word. It's about every fifth word, right?
Alex.
He's going
I'll
back.
try here.
Nope.
Dang.
Thumbs down. What are we thinking?
I mean, I was just
I'm
gonna say,
sorry.
No worries.
Oh.
We good?
So
Oh man.
That's what happens when you live down south. Cell phone service gets a little slow.
No, nothing.
That's why you guys talk so slow down there, because the cell phone service is bad. So you just, you get every word. It just takes you a while.
What?
My family's from the South, people. It was a joke.
But it's not untrue.
It's
not
untrue.
It is not untrue.
So
You can insult us. We'll still be polite about it.
So Vicky's first time down to visit my family. This has nothing to do with racing, but whatever. Vicky's first time down visiting my family. She's talking to everybody. She's meeting everybody. She meets the cousins and the aunts and the uncles and everybody. And my cousin goes to her. He goes, "You're nice, but you talk too fast."
Wow.
Yep.
Uh,
Man,
So-
if I just would have listened to him. Vicky, you're up. Sorry.
yeah, I know. So, how can everybody keep in contact with you?
How can they follow this live stream next weekend? How do they?
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
You guys have a Facebook page? You have a website? You have anything? Are you just doing your thing and living life?
Yeah, we don't have anything like together. I guess we could make like an Instagram or something.
Yep.
With
Oh,
a name like that, you have to.
Serious.
I think
True.
that Instagram kicking off with this build that you're going.
Yes.
I think that is
absolutely.
Documenting it.
the open doorway to seeing this build come to fruition in less than 48 hours. I think that's the best way to kick off a world famous Instagram page.
Matthew,
So
now we
after
have
this
to
podcast-
do it.
The yakety sack.
After this podcast, everybody's
that.
going to want to know what country was it, Bill?
It could be Thailand.
Thailand.
Might be Denmark. We're big in Thailand. Don't mess with us in Thailand. Don't kick back. Okay. So Instagram coming soon on Instagram. I'm pretty sure your team name is not taken. I'm just guessing, just from the, it might
Good
still be
chance.
available. You've got a couple
Well-
days before this comes out, so you might be able to reserve it before then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, we anxiously, and by anxiously, you cannot imagine how we anxiously are waiting for our check-in next Sunday at 9 p.m. when we get either a phone call or a Zoom call or even just a quick email or text message saying that the job is done, and the sound of the engine whirling to life in the background would just be fantastic. We can't wait for that.
Me neither.
Think we can do it.
I think they can. I think they can.
You think they can?
I
Okay.
think they can.
Very well.
All
Well,
right.
I'd like to thank you guys. And coming up shortly will be the results of the engine swap right after the break. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed. You're ready to move up.
Welcome back to the Garage Heroes and Training Podcast for part 2. We're checking in with the Semi Sentient Centenarians, which I can't say, but that's okay. So, guys, we're anxious. We're waiting to see how the engine swap progresses. So, have we heard the vroom vroom yet? Oh, we got it. We got the fourth.
You know, your friend Ben thinks you're absolutely nuts. He actually stated that he goes, "You guys got to stop him."
Talk him out of it. Talk him out of it.
Say something.
We just don't know any better.
All right. We got the
Did shockingly well, believe it or not.
did it.
Really?
Yeah.
Have we heard
Oh.
vroom vroom?
No vroom vroom.
No
All
vroom
right.
vroom?
But
Okay.
we did in both cars before we took them apart, though.
That's
So
true.
we're off to a good start.
Okay, so before we go any further, why don't you update the audience and let them know what's happening?
Well, since this will appear right after the episode that they appear on, I don't really have to because it's
Well, I
like,
didn't know you were just going
like-
to jump it.
it's like 3 minutes ago. Is their time. It's okay. It's okay. As usual, we plan our podcast very well and communicate fully amongst our team so that everybody knows exactly what's going on. Or
Prepared our responses as well.
or not. All right. So engine came out of running car, engine going into running car.
More like the car came off the engine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So let's do our traditional good, bad, and the ugly. What went well?
Getting the engine out of the van.
I mean, for dropping it out of the bottom, it went really well. The engine looks to be a lot younger than the car. So that's the van engine looks to be a lot younger than the van. Someone else has already swapped the engine in this van before for some reason. So that could be looked at as a plus.
And they did not put back in the worst bolt that you have to take out to get it out of the car. So that was a big plus.
Well, that saved you a lot of headache.
Yeah, there's a bell. One of the bell housing bolts is online and everything. It's commonly referred to as the bitch bolt.
Yes.
And I knew something was up when she was missing from the van.
There's no bitching in van land.
No bitch in the van. No.
That and nobody got hurt. I guess that's the other thing that went really well. We had a large van up in the air for quite a while and it fell. Not really, but it went down a little faster one time than we wanted, and still nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
As long as nobody's underneath, right?
No blood. That's good.
I was almost underneath. Not quite though. Everyone was on their phones. I was like, "Yeah, so we're going to take this bolt out." Yeah. I don't think anyone really heard me, so I was taking it out, and then the whole thing just came down in a pretty dramatic fashion.
So does that count as our bad? Is that our bad and our good, bad, and the ugly?
That could be a bad. Maybe the other bad was the fact that looking at the van, we realized just because the windshields on vans, they go forward so much in front of the engine that we weren't able to just pull out the engine. Like that was our original plan, just to pull out the engine from the top, but that was definitely not going to be possible. So
yeah, it took at least twice as long to pull the engine out of the van than it did to pull the race car engine out of the race car.
Yeah.
At least twice as long.
Yeah.
So for those of you playing along at home, listening to the podcast, which is not a video podcast, there is a look of utter shock on my face that it took twice as long as anticipated.
But only twice.
Yeah.
Only twice. All right. You're well ahead of schedule. All
Yeah.
right. So any uglies? Any uglies besides, trying to do this in a weekend?
It started raining.
It did. The storms.
The weather was terrible.
Wait a minute. Were you guys outside working on this?
Sort of.
Only by choice.
We had a carport, but we couldn't fit all of the things under the carport.
I don't know if it was my choice.
Yes, it was.
Alex, what are you going to do with these guys? Were you involved in this craziness?
I was there for emotional support and maybe some pizza money.
He was febbing. He was a feb.
Yeah.
Wow. You found
What's
this
a
one.
web?
Exactly. It's a reference that Vicky thinks is hilarious, and
Feb
no one else knows.
is the guy on Gone in 60 Seconds. And as everybody's talking about the big plan, they're like, and who's this guy? He goes, that's Feb. Right. Well, what the hell's he here for? Somebody's got to get the pizza. Somebody.
When we did, Alex, we did use your money to buy a 2-foot large pizza. So it's very appreciated.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
So how much time are you guys devoting to this? A day? A
I mean,
week?
it was probably 12 hours on Saturday and probably another 10 on Sunday. When you say
Maybe not quite that.
maybe
8 on Sunday. Yeah.
I'm excluded because on the first day I had to go to a couple birthdays, so I was only there in the morning and in the evening.
I like how he said a couple birthdays.
Yeah. I had to go to 2 birthdays. It was crazy.
All right. So what's our status, gentlemen? How close are we?
We are just waiting on parts. We could have put it in the car, but we decided that since we're waiting on a couple parts, it'd be better just to wait. And when we get those in, it'll be probably an easy evening to put it in the car.
And we did.
Oh, they are so optimistic.
We have already put some parts in it. What did we do? We replaced
resealed the whole top end.
Yeah, the upper and lower intake gaskets,
Exhaust gasket,
oil pan gasket.
Yeah.
Because stop me if you've heard this before, but while we had everything apart, it was like, oh, well, while it's apart, we could do that. Oh, and, well, this is a little sub up. So I mean, it's already apart. We can just go ahead and do that.
That's
like,
exactly what I did to our race truck. Is figure, well, why the engine's out? We might as well deal with this right now.
Yeah. So
which is good and bad.
Yeah, true. It's a slippery slope. We're waiting on
an
yeah. We're waiting on an AC delete, an AC compressor delete pulley, and we're waiting on a reluctor ring from some guy in Canada who makes them in his basement. And yeah, so if the border's open and that gets here, we'll be ready to put it in.
So whose house is this at?
Right now we're in the cars at Matthew's house. Yeah.
Okay, and I imagine everybody is pretty close, correct?
Not everybody.
Yeah. We're within 20 minutes, except for Alex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex,
Right.
Alex a little further away than 20 minutes.
Like 9.5 hours now. It's better than it was.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex
So
is like he just comes in and drops.
So who's leading? Who's in charge and who's leading this venture? Who's got the massive amounts of skill? Oh yeah, I kind of thought.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have the skill. I just have
massive amounts of skill.
I'll get all the stuff and we can make it. We'll just make it happen. It's gonna go great. I promise.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Matthew's aptitude for worthless GM cars is huge. So he's a big source.
Yeah.
so there was one thing that came up during the podcast that hasn't been talked about at all so far. There was this thing called an electrical wiring harness issue. So where are we with that, gentlemen?
Well, we're going to use the harness from our old engine, and Matthew assures us that the computer we have, which is from the new engine, has been repinned to work with our previous wiring harness.
So what could go wrong?
So we already have a scapegoat.
No, we got it. The PCM is actually, it's from a late 90s like Chevy Monte Carlo, and it's been programmed and repinned to fit in our car by an actual professional, someone that sells a kit online, and someone that I talked to was like, well, actually ended up, he thought his PCM was bad, so he bought a second one. His PCM wasn't bad. The guy wouldn't take the PCM back, so he's like, well, I've got this one you can have. Like, yes. Free stuff.
Yeah, we needed this anyway to get rid of our speed limiter because we were limited to like 108 miles an hour before. So we were going to use this on our old motor and put in bigger injectors because it was tuned for bigger injectors. And then Matthew was like, well, it's already tuned to run this bigger motor, so we'll just change motors.
And the issue with the speed limit, the 108 miles an hour, isn't that we were running into our 108 mile an hour speedometer.
While you're in there,
shorter tires than stock, so 108's like 90, which even in an old stripped out Buick is possible on certain racetracks.
Yeah, it was fine at CMP, but at Sebring we're a little worried we'll just lose so much in the straights.
Yeah.
So a question came to me after our last podcast recording. So most people, they take their Miata and they do an engine swap to get a good handling car to go just a little faster, or they LS swap like a BMW or something. You guys are going through this effort in a front wheel drive. Is it an F body?
A-body.
A-body. I'm sorry. A-body. Why?
It's lemons. You can't just engine swap a Miata for lemons. That'll get you nowhere.
That's true.
Yeah, that will get you nowhere. True.
Boring.
It's the car we have.
Yeah, we don't want bonus laps. We don't want to have any laps added.
Okay. So part of this is you're upgrading your engine, and you've got more horsepower now, and you've got this handling monster of a front wheel drive Buick, and with an engine upgrade, there usually becomes some judge introspection, which will usually require some type of BS inspection augmentation by your team, either in form of theme and or bribery. Have you addressed this part of the plan, sir?
Well, unless the judge watches this podcast, they won't have any idea. Because it still looks like the same hunk of shit that was in the car before.
Well, you're safe there because we know the judges listen to our podcast. Why would a judge listen to our podcast? Nobody else does. So, okay, so you're going in cold. So you're sticking with your theming that you have on the car right now.
We would like to change our theme. We want to paint the car if time permits. Obviously, our engine running reliably is first and foremost. So we're just kind of gonna see how it goes.
So are we going with a more lemony theme, or are we sticking with a semi-race theme?
We like the early NASCAR Buicks. NASCAR never really had a great, or Buick never really had a great record in NASCAR, but there were a couple years where they did win, and they had some really cool Miller High Life liveries. So we were considering. So
you're going race livery.
Yeah,
thinking about it.
Engine swap, engine upgrade.
Yeah,
and you think you're getting away without bribery and 0 penalty laps.
It's an A-body Buick.
And it's Buick race live. It's not like we're not painting it golf color. Golf. We're painting it
front wheel drive.
Bobby Allison Buick Regal.
Matthew assures us this won't be a problem, but I'll also say that Matthew is not only our fearless leader, but he's also our scapegoat.
Oh, okay.
I plan to cheat
because he's such a good sport.
We came into that 24 and we just slid under the radar and we got third place.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think we can do it again. I don't know about the third place, but I think we could slide under the radar.
You're trying to slide. Okay. All right. Which race are you going this? Sebring?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I got good news and bad news for you. The good news is I know one of the judges for that race. The bad news, he's one of our 2 or 3 listeners.
No.
Maybe 4.
What are we gonna do?
He might be so intimidated by this 3,500 slot.
So this friend that you have, what are some of his hobbies and interests and potential bribable things?
Bribable.
Well, he is a vegetarian. He does like tequila.
Oh, okay.
Miss Vicky, do you have any other?
Which one are we referring to?
Oh, it's mental.
Mental.
He was just Nola.
Yeah, he's apparently making the tour, and I believe Sebring is on his list. Trying to think what else would work well with mental. I can find out offline, and then we'll get back to you on that and give you some suggestions.
Yeah. I just feel like we raised not even the slightest eyebrow at CMP.
They felt so bad for us because that car has done so poorly in former lemons races. They were like, "Oh, these poor guys."
So you're doing nothing on your livery. Are you doing?
Possibly.
I mean, you're wait. I'm sorry. Nothing lemony on your livery.
Right.
You're planning on 0 penalty laps. Perhaps a bribe. We might talk you into a bribe. Are we doing anything in terms of costuming or performance? You know, is there any music interpretation dance that you guys are planning? Or
I mean, if we do get the NASCAR look, I mean, the 80s NASCAR driver is a pretty easy costume to throw on. I've already started growing out my mustache. I don't know if you noticed. We kind of all have.
I was going to say you're already dressed, so
Right.
You guys are not giving me the heads up on that.
Just let it go. You'll be good by the time.
Yeah, it's a month away.
I'd really like to put like NASCAR boom tubes on it, but
yeah, that would be cool.
Not about it.
With the V8, that would have been a lot better.
I mean, I personally, I think making an A-body Buick Century look like a NASCAR is pretty lemony, but
it is. I'm just trying to get you to your goal, which is 0 laps in C. I mean, I'd hate to see you in B with penalty laps. That would suck.
Yeah, we're trying to come up with a clever pun. Since it's a Miller High Life livery, we're trying to come up with some clever puns on the Miller High Life.
Yeah, that's true.
They've come up with like 10. I'm not gonna lie, I was very impressed.
We're just not sure if any of them are.
Yeah.
Alex,
or are inappropriate enough.
That's true. Alex, what's your thoughts on this plan here? You have any feedback from a distance? You're listening to the 3-headed monster over there.
I think so when they open the hood, there's tequila inside the engine bay. We all have mustaches and aviators.
Aviators.
Check.
What am I thinking? Like Steppenwolf blaring out of the car as we pull up?
Or like the Days of Thunder theme, just constantly
I think that's a good start.
Yeah. I mean, if you could...
we have to put the radio back in.
No, just a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who looks like Nicole Kidman, perhaps, maybe?
Oh,
I think Andrew could.
I can walk in heels. Fun fact.
There you go.
Yet another comment with 0 surprise look on my face.
All right. Awesome.
So it sounds like you gentlemen are still confident in going forth with the plan, and you have this totally under control. So
I'm grooving with it.
We're awfully supporting and willing to root for you. We just,
we're shocked and amazed. That's all I can say.
That's what we aim for.
Yeah.
I feel like we have not improved the skepticism on your side.
It's not skepticism. It's not rooting against you. It's just you've gotten to a point where there's still nightmares ahead, and we're concerned for you. And
sure,
there's that. I can't. You know what though? I can't say that we're in a better position right now. Although
we've got cars that are way worse.
And the truck is running. It has not been tested yet.
Well, we have at least one weekend before the race where we're all in town again, I think. So we should be okay.
Yeah, all-nighters. I'm seeing and feeling all-nighters. Don't forget the car fluids.
Yeah, we've already talked about doing our painting on the livery at the track. When we get there Thursday.
I'm printing decals. I'm printing massive decals. So just slap them on. And we're doing a paint job already.
Our old paint job is so crusty. I don't know if stickers will stick to our car though.
Yeah.
We got to wire brush the car.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish you guys would be there. I mean, maybe you can make it.
Which one is it?
Sebring in May.
It's only like 18 hours from where you live.
Only 18.
Quick trip.
We'll be there in spirit.
Take
video. Take video.
Northeast.
So you can stop on the way there. You could stop here. We could go together.
Yeah, we can caravan.
I do have a Suburban. We can all fit.
Yeah.
Our engine hoist is going to be in the back of that.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Maybe on the roof.
We're bringing a backup engine.
We probably should.
I think it's smart. Hedge the bets.
Yeah, hedging bets already. Here we go.
Where are the closest junkyards to the track?
Bill knows where they are. Bill can find them.
car-parts.com, baby.
Yeah.
At this point, we could probably change to a stock motor in 2 hours.
Probably
3 hours.
Well, you got to realize all the other ones of those cars are already in the junkyard, so you should have a wide selection.
Exactly. Every time we go to the junkyard, there's 4 or 5 to choose from.
Yeah.
And we've tried 4 times to get a windshield out of one now and broken every one.
Oh, and Matthew was at the junkyard recently, and he found us a hood strut, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, the factory like gas hood strut. They don't have to use our janky, sketchy prop rod.
Super rare part.
Yeah. Definitely can't order it new offline from Rock Auto. Definitely can't.
No.
Okay. So I'm trying to write to Jennifer a question for her because she's been very quiet. So I'm going to tell her what it is.
There's still a question of yes.
I'm going to tell her what the question is, and then she's going to ask it, and I'm editing this in. So what I was saying.
Each of your percentage of starting the race running?
So each one of you
smooth there.
Each one of you, what is the percentage that you guys think you will start the race running on time for Sebring?
100%.
100%. Okay. Anybody else?
100%.
100%. Okay.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I'm really at 100%.
Okay.
Like in my mind, worst case scenario, throw all the parts in the truck, put the car on the trailer like a week before the race, take it to the shop up the road and be like, look, buddy, here's a check with a number to fill in. I just need this hunk of junk to run by Thursday.
Just make it happen.
Well, now that Matthew said that, I'm also at 100%.
Okay. So we have 4.
A tutors guy right up the road. So we feel like the wiring can get sorted out with enough cash.
Yeah, we don't have to do anything to the wiring.
Right.
You have to lengthen the...
Oh, wait. We don't have to do anything, and then quickly followed by all we have to do is...
Well, it's lengthening sensors. Like, we have to splice in a couple wires. That's it.
I figured we had just
other than
used
the
our old sensors.
Other than the reluctor from the guy in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I need is a bigger dick, and I'll be fine. Yeah. Okay.
If only we had more money, it would work.
I know. All right. Well, according to this, we are at 400% confidence level, I believe.
Your math is
I believe. Well, I mean, for 400% people. So, let's have some fun. Let's see what the ladies think. Ladies,
Yes.
what do you think?
I'm thinking they can do it.
I think they can do it.
I'm really thinking they can do it.
Proof yet again that we're drinking during the podcast.
No, it's good.
Never.
What do you think? You guys on the 100% train?
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah, I think they can. I think they can do it. You guys are taking a lot of pictures, right? Of
Right.
where everything goes once you remove it.
Oh yes.
yeah.
We also like to keep a lot of spare cars around so we can go look at them.
That's a good one.
Oh,
Good.
I think each of us have 4 or 5 cars at their house right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So-
I think
Several of which would be better candidates for lemon race cars.
Most of which would be better candidates.
Okay. All right. So, Miss Vicky, you're at 100?
I'm at 90.
90?
I'll take it. That's good. You just met us. Take 90.
She's north of the equator, so that's good.
Yep.
Miss Jen, where are you thinking?
I'm definitely at 100. I have all the faith in the world that they can do it.
Oh
You know-
man, our confidence is just,
Yep,
is
now
just
we're definitely
pouring
gonna do
out
it.
of our
We're
pores.
just gonna pour the positivity down this car's throat.
That's
until
right.
it runs.
See,
And
I
I
think
have,
Ram it down the intake.
I have even more fun news. We
Yeah.
almost have like a Top Gear challenge situation thing going on.
Really?
A friend of mine stopped by my house the other day, and he, of course, after uttering the common refrain of "Are you running a used car lot here?" To which I informed him that
Ouch.
generally those make money, so no.
Yeah.
He reminded me that he won the Duff Beer Triumph Stag, and it's sitting at his farm in the shed. He's trying to get rid of it. I was like, oh. I was like, I mean, not that I had any desire whatsoever to race a Triumph Stag for a weekend, but if we do get to the weekend and like we've already paid all our money and our car's just hopelessly not working, be like, hey, Ed, about that Triumph Stag you're trying to get rid of, I can give it a new home for you.
you should.
Yeah,
You
backup
should
plan.
I'm not rooting against you, but just a thought. If you have him pre-number it with the car that you're registering that number, not a bad plan. Just
I don't think we should plan to fail.
Don't do that.
What's the number?
We have not.
We're in the system as 88,
Number 88. All right.
but we need to figure out
what,
what we're gonna do.
what number's the Stag?
I have no idea.
Oh, you should
We-
check.
got-
I'll make it 88 if we have to. I'm not gonna
Right.
pre-do it.
We'll have
Okay.
paint with it.
We've got to we got to change our numbers anyway. Someone already took our numbers by the time we registered.
Yeah, 3 digits is usually so much easier. All right, gentlemen, you guys have your 100% across the board. You've even got Vicky drinking. I mean, Vicky almost there, and Jennifer fully 100%. So let's see, we've got 4, 5, 6 people, and we're at 590% that you will start the race on time with a running vehicle.
Those sound like good odds.
But wait, what are
97.3.
you? What's your
Yeah,
confidence?
let's hear your.
Oh, what's my confidence? My concern is the wiring.
Mhm.
You know, the rest of it, I think you guys got a hold of. You're fine. But
Yeah.
the wiring is one of those that if it goes well, awesome. If it doesn't go well, it could be a forever thing.
There's
So-
like 6 wires on this motor, though. And that's the spark plug wires. So,
So how hard can it be? I guess is the question.
right.
Like, speaking of car part, let me look up the closest carbureted 2.8 in the junkyard just in case.
That's right.
Yeah, I think all the Lemons podcast should be sponsored by car-parts.com. I'd be happy if we just don't lose money. I don't even want to make money with this podcast, but that's okay.
Right.
All right, gentlemen, that's the update. We're a couple days late. You guys worked late into the evening on a Sunday. You You divided and conquered, and nobody got squished, which is good.
Right.
Good for Andrew.
Mhm.
And you have a 590% prognostication out of 600. So, that's an A in anybody's book. And I do nothing but wish you well. And hopefully your car will defecate all over Sebring. I mean decimate. Sorry. Whoops. Just go around Sebring and just dominate level C with
if
zero.
If it rains the whole race, first place. We got it.
It's over.
We got it.
It's over. Okay, very well. Very well. I mean, the only thing there's another concern. So if it rains and the track is fully wet, that's one thing. But if the track is fully wet because of your car, that's another thing. So try to avoid that. I mean,
that's true.
That's why we use distilled water.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
yes. we resealed it. We did all the seals except for a couple.
Hoses. Think hoses.
Yeah.
So since you guys are fully 100% committed to this plan, and
there's no turning back now.
Yeah, it's done. It's
got a good deal on the 4.9 V8 before the race.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have the stupid things covered, like brake pads and tires, and
we got those. Those are settled.
They're still on the car from the 24.
Oh, okay. Sounds great. Alex, help these guys. They're dug way deep, man. This is all you, buddy. You're the only one with a clear head.
Yeah, because I'm not there.
I know.
That'd be even worse.
Exactly. You're the only one who's not smoking crack, Alex. So you got to keep these boys in line here. They're losing it.
I'm just here for the determination. I'm sold.
Okay.
The energy, just the energy.
That's right.
I'm pretty envious of Alex. He's going to be able just to show up and step in like a brand new machine. This thing's he's going to be so pleased with this. I already know.
Just gonna live the F1 life for one day. Just come up and have this perfectly built machine, scientists behind it, 100% dialed in, and just get to learn it on the track around A-class people, just like last time. I cried last time, actually.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
You look like Mr. Sentimental, so again, not a surprise look over here.
Yeah. Matthew's the only one we have evidence of, though. Sure.
So what happens when you get in the car and it's I don't know, what's the nice way of putting it? Slower.
Oh.
Well, that means it's running.
Yeah.
So you're like, well,
running is good.
We figure out which spark plug we forgot to put in.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, this got to be a reason.
We get all backfiring.
Okay. Did we test the engine, compression?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Leaks and all that good stuff?
Yeah, ran great.
Really?
Yeah.
It's super clean inside. There's no way it's got.
So if it ran great, why did you take it from that car?
It was in the minivan.
Oh.
Wait.
We have friends who race a minivan, so don't let that stop you.
I would really like to have raced the minivan, but it didn't have a cage in it. So,
yeah. You know how easy a cage is to put in a minivan?
Yeah. Don't tempt me.
We can put it back. Really. We didn't mess anything up. We can put it back.
Oh, you could. Okay. All right. So let's all get on the happy train. I got one more question. This works. Everything goes perfectly. You guys, your car runs. You don't mess up any pit stops. You don't have any mechanical issues. Life is good. You do exceedingly well in C. Perhaps win, but just you do well. What's next?
Different car.
I don't know. Depends on if like the Formula One scouts are attending the race or not.
Well, I mean, I've heard they've rearranged their schedule and they're staying over just to see this fine Buick go ripping around.
Yeah, we'll take it to Europe and race it next year.
Europe. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Or didn't they just start like a lemon spinoff in New Zealand?
Yes.
Yeah, they have.
Really?
That would be cool.
We could take it to New Zealand.
Yeah.
No, wait. Let me just roll back time just 1 second, Vicky. We had them on the podcast. You can't be surprised.
No, that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
All right. Very well.
Sorry.
Talk to the New Zealand folks.
Yeah, we did. NASCAR.
Very cool.
They're a blast.
They are. They're so nice.
They are. We're going to get out there as soon as they'll let somebody from the U.S. in their country.
Yeah.
I guess they're being smart and not letting us in, but whatever. Okay. So it sounds like you guys are full steam ahead. No issues. Just got a few things, little I's and T's to dot, and then the path to domination is set in stone.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on our progress. We'll let you know when it goes vroom vroom.
Oh, I'd love to.
Oh my gosh!
And
please take video.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we've already got the GoPros.
Okay, very well. And we are going to keep this updating going on future episodes as well. So anything you send to us, we will make sure that everybody gets to see the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations that you guys go through, and eventually the fruits of victory that you will see with this dominating Buick.
Right. No, after we get this race behind us, I think we've got a couple more races to do in a similar state. I mean, we've spent months working on this car and we've raced it 24 hours. So I think hopefully now that races are happening again, I think we'll be a little less like anxious about working on the car, and it's like, okay, we can just get it ready for the next race.
Yeah, and we've got some room to go with this engine. So if it does well this race and it lasts the race and it's healthy, we can put a cam in it. We can do some other things.
Turn our attention to slightly smaller projects and maybe even fix our own cars, which are all hopelessly broken right now.
Yeah. Or we could just like leave it and race it.
Some along those lines.
And then we could have time to fix our own cars.
Yeah. So I think some minute updates after this, but I think if this goes anywhere close to plan, I think this will be her state for a while. So
I believe the most pertinent words in that statement were if this goes anything close to plan. So
leaving a lot of room there.
A lot of room. Wide berth on that one. Okay.
I feel like we got momentum. I think we
got momentum. Oh, it's a momentum car. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, downhill.
All right. Well, good luck with your engine swap. We will be doing our rain dances for you for Sebring race. When is your race? What week is that?
May 8th and 9th, I think.
May 8th and 9th. So that's Mother's Day weekend, I think.
Oh, it is. Dude. Mother's race free. If anybody's mom wants to come race, mom's race free.
Well,
we can put a mom in our Buick for a lap or two.
What would be more appropriate than have a mom racing in a front wheel drive Buick?
I did not realize this was one of the days. My mother.
I did not either.
Well, now you know. Too late now. You already signed up.
Yeah. I'm sending a text right now.
It's a good plan. All right. Good luck, gentlemen. We're rooting for you.
We are rooting for you.
And good luck with the electrical. That's probably your biggest hassle you have going on. And you should be good to go. Would love to hear a vroom vroom in the next hour or two, but we'll wait. No pressure. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Dominating with Dawson.
I have a segment coming up, and I don't remember. What is the name of this segment? Anybody?
I don't know.
Anybody got a name? Can we name this something? Vicky?
Ruminating with rhubarbs.
Ruminating with rhubarbs. That's fun. I don't know. Vicky doesn't know. Jen, you know?
How's your ficus?
How's your
ficus?
Oh,
Team
I know.
spleen.
Team spleen? No.
Team spleen. Team no spleen.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think that the name for this segment is Dominating with Dawson. And since we have everybody here, let's do one, shall we?
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm into it. I'm here.
So this is far from the most technical one that you've ever been challenged with, Ben. But what is the difference between a missed shift and a money shift?
Oh, children gather round. I've done both.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not pretty. So a missed shift is where you this and I should also preface this by saying I'm a total dum-dum all day long, but at least as far as I understand it, a missed shift is where, say you wanted to go from third to fourth and you got third to second. That would be a missed shift, but also probably a money shift. So let me go back. A prime example of a real missed shift that's happened to me a million times is when you're trying to go from second to third, but you get second to fifth. It's a pretty harmless missed shift, but the result of a missed shift is you're in traffic and you're all kind of running a pace, and all of a sudden you go to get the wrong gear and you get a much higher gear in a missed shift or something like that, or you just grab the wrong gear entirely. You're just like, oh crap! Well, you go from second to fourth or something like that,
or you just hit the gate instead of a gear.
Right, you just miss the shift entirely, and you spend a minute trying to get it into gear. All those things will just knock your pace out of the water, especially if you're in a competitive environment with a lot of cars running the same pace around you, like a race start or something like that. Those are race starts are pretty common places to see missed shifts, right?
Yep,
so
absolutely.
likely if you miss a shift or something like that, it's just going to tank your pace and you're going to get past and hopefully not hit by anybody, but you're just going to probably lose a few spots until you get back, you get back in the gear that you meant to be in, and you've already lost a bunch of pace off of that. So it's going to take a while to get up to speed in that gear, even more than it would have before. So that's missing a shift, and that can kind of tank your pace and put you in a dangerous spot in traffic because everybody's kind of zooming around you. Does that make sense?
It does. Miss Vicky,
you're expecting to go third to fourth, and all of a sudden you're in fifth gear or something. You're just messed it up.
I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah, so it's not fun.
Why?
That's missing a shift.
Missing a shift, not dropping it to tank. But
why do you miss shifts?
I just think that sometimes I feel like I think it was more like in the beginning. But sometimes I feel like it doesn't go smoothly into it, especially the truck. This truck does not shift smoothly at all.
Why do y'all race that truck?
The truck is a conversation.
I'm sure I'll race it at some point.
But now the Miata is different. I mean, I have no problem shift. It just naturally goes into it.
So with the truck, the race truck, the trophy truck, the El Jefe, the bad hombre.
Okay.
What happens is you decide that it's time to change gears, and then you communicate this to the truck, and the truck will tell you at the rate that you will be changing gears. And if you try to go anything faster than that, the truck will wave a finger in your general direction. So it's more of a conversation than a thought with the truck. But yes, the truck is a truck transmission, and it shifts as quickly as you would think. So it's mostly the truck that drives you crazy, Miss Vicky?
Yeah, I mean, the truck is fun to drive.
Shifting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's also a little bit of play in the shift.
Yeah.
Too. What about you, Miss Jen? Do you ever miss a shift? Do you ever?
Yes.
Yes. And why would that be?
Why did I miss the shift?
Yeah. What led to this?
Inexperience.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't
in a
long time, but certainly when I was.
Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to find a gear. Do you feel like you're trying to find a gear?
Not on all cars, but some, like the truck, like you said.
Yeah.
Is a little wily, but yeah, just not all cars.
Okay.
But certainly in the very beginning when I was learning, it was not as fluent as it is now. Let's put it that way.
It's a good thing. So, Mr. Dawson, we've talked about the fun ones. We've talked about the misshifts, the things that cost you seconds or tenths or a position.
Yes.
And then there's the money shift. It can cost you
Any
more.
guesses to why we call it a money shift before I get into what a money shift is? Why do we call it a money shift?
I believe it may cost you a little more than time.
Yeah. Because it's going to send you to the engine builder. and it's going to cost you a ton of money. So, or you're going to have to build your own engine or buy another one from the junkyard, whatever it is, you're about to buy an engine. So the idea with the money shift is that you shifted accidentally into a lower gear than you intended, and you over rev the engine, thereby blowing something up in the top, the bottom end, or the middle. That makes it where that engine won't work anymore. But if you're lucky, maybe you try to go from third to fourth, but you go third to second, like I've done one time. As soon as you do it, as soon as you start letting the clutch out, you feel like, whoa, this is wrong. And hopefully you catch it before you sustained a bunch of the long revs where you spiked the revs. In my case, I did it coming out of hog pen in my little track day Miata. When I was coming out of hog pen, where I was used to grabbing, coming out of the hog pen, I would still be in third gear, and then I would grab fourth as I sort of exited the corner. But it's also one where you're really loaded up, like you're coming out loaded up heavy to the left, so the car's leaning out to the left really bad. And so when I went to grab third to fourth, all that, I guess, physics or whatever was pulling me over to the left side. Instead of getting third to fourth, I got third to second. And as soon as I started letting the clutch out, I was like, whoa, that's wrong. And I kicked it back out of gear and caught the right gear. But eventually, I'd done enough damage to spin a bearing eventually. It caught me like the next couple of track days down the road. But I had done the damage with the over rev, and eventually caught me where I had to end up buying another engine for the Miata. So that's why I spent a bunch of money on that.
Miss Jan, any money shifts in your history
that you're willing to speak of?
Not yet.
Not ready to go on record with any of them yet.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, don't do it.
Miss Vicky,
no money shifts.
No money shifts. So what's the thing you can do to hopefully stop a money shift? Anyone?
Be patient.
For me, I can tell you one. I can go. Yeah. Do you want to give yourself plenty of time and be patient on the shifts? There's no point in just rushing shifts. It's not like any of us are ready to get picked up to be Porsche Cup drivers next year or anything. We're all we're out there just trying to keep the cars alive. So there's no point in rushing a shift. And when I think back to missing a shift, a recent example I can think of is in our E30. Transmissions are we've had plenty of transmissions in that car, and I can never keep up with how one's doing or not. But I went out to go race it this last time, like in 2019 on North Course at VIR, and get down the long straightaway. I come out of hog pen in fourth gear, which I learned how to do after my money shift. I learned how to carry enough speed down there so I wouldn't even have to be messing with it the 3 to 4 shift in all the cars I drive. So I come out of the main straightaway in fourth gear, but I was racing our car and I was in pretty heavy traffic, and I went to go grab the 4th to 5th shift, and it felt wonky, like trying to go in. I was like, I'd rather miss this shift than force it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
At least in that case, I sort of chose to miss the shift and pull a little bit offline. If cars coming around me needed to pass while I was trying to get it into 5th gear, but I chose to sort of baby the shift, realizing that it kind of balked the first time. I was like, that didn't work. That didn't feel right. I'm going to give myself an extra second, put the clutch in, be very deliberate about getting into the 5th gear. So I kind of chose to miss the shift and get it in there right, rather than potentially doing a money shift. But sometimes the ability to avoid a money shift just comes into getting a feel for the shifter and a feel for how you expect the car to feel as soon as you shifted gears in the right gear. And if something feels off at all, you have to have that instinct built in and just kind of pull back out of it and put the car back, pop the car back in neutral as quickly as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just know, in my level of racing, where I'm at, I know in the beginning there was a lot of thought in how I was doing that, and I was really kind of slamming the car.
You didn't care about the mechanicals.
Well, with the brakes, with the clutch, with everything, and yeah, I didn't. You're right. I didn't think about the mechanicals because right now I'm just trying to drive the car. I'm not thinking about the car.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm realizing that things can go a lot more smoothly when I'm thinking about the weight of the car now and moving the weight around in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot more mindfulness of my shifting now.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. It's not about just point A, point B. It's okay, now if I do this now with the brakes, the shift doesn't have to be slammed into place.
Yeah, let the shift work in concert with the rest of what you're doing, right?
Exactly. There's more symmetry to it.
Good. That's great.
So I can think of 2 things that I do to avoid these things. Anybody have any ways to avoid these things?
I'm sure there's some hand technique we could talk about as far as shifting, open palm when you're pushing away.
Yeah.
Like for second or third or fourth to fifth. Good times to push away with an open palm. You can kind of talk about, there's another technique called preloading the shifter where you go ahead and put your hand down there for a second. Instead of just reaching out and slapping a gear, put your hand on it, rest your hand there, get a feel for where it's going, and then make the shift. So be a little bit more deliberate with your hand as far as the shifting. Is that something you've heard about?
I have. I got more too.
Talk about it.
Anybody else? Anybody? I don't want to steal anybody's thunder. Jennifer's like, there's no thunder
here.
No thunder. So one thing that I find is, if it sounds like, just like Ben said before, if it sounds weird or feels weird, give up a little bit of time and put the clutch back in.
Yeah. When in doubt, don't.
Right. Just put the clutch back in.
You're not made of money. Like, if it feels wrong, give yourself time to get it right.
Yeah, exactly. So if you feel that engine start to rev, like, whoa, that's really, before the clutch is all the way out, push it back in. And you'll save yourself a lot of time in replacing the engine. Not so much time on that one lap. And then the second thing that I think that causes a lot of these things is when you stop the habit of steering the shift. Like if you're trying to point the shifter into a certain spot, as opposed to just letting the shifter kind of naturally flow.
That's what I was doing before.
You're going to put it in the wrong spot because you shift a lot, like often, not many times.
I really want to drive now.
Well,
all this talking, I am. The wind in my hair.
Vicky's ready to go.
Yes. Now we just got to get a car that runs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So missed shifts, they happen. No big deal. Money shifts, you don't want them to happen very often.
Yeah, but there's ways to mitigate the money shift, and the more experience you get, hopefully you do fewer of them. But yeah, if you're going to grab a gear and something feels wrong or sounds wrong, skip it. Pop the clutch back in. Disengage the driveline, get it right, then pop it back out, and also be aware of where you are on track and in traffic. But if you have to kind of duck out of the shift, also sort of duck out of line a little bit, right?
Yep. You'd much rather give up a couple tenths or a second or two.
For sure. I've got a video for you guys that's going to demonstrate this, so we can go right in the podcast notes.
Nice. All right. Look at that. We're a multimedia podcast now.
That's right.
Very well. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
No worries.
Is there anything that I still need to do or anything?
Yeah. I mean, you need to give me like $4 billion. I have a selection of cars and houses that I'd like, but Okay.
Can you just put it in an email?
Oh yeah, no problem. It's already written down. It's in an Excel spreadsheet. Don't worry. I know you're surprised by that.
Not at all.
Nope, not at all.
You are the data man. But that's good. We need a data person.
Yep.